What I do think we are on the precipice of is a kind of an economic explosion.
Just in, Donald Trump becomes the first U.S. president to own and support cryptocurrency.
Hello, Bitcoiners.
Bitcoin is making new all-time highs. Everybody who has ever bought Bitcoin, if they held, is in profit today. Altcoins are popping off. My friends, this could be the beginning of a whole new era for cryptocurrency. Smash the like button. This is what Wall Street and retail is waking up to and hearing today.
Bitcoin briefly surging to a new record high as investors bet that Donald Trump will deliver on his pro-crypto promises, especially with a Republican-controlled Senate behind him and after getting more than $25 million from crypto donors. Now, Trump's main pledge is to fire SEC Chair Gary Gensler, who's brought more than 100 enforcement actions against industry leaders like Coinbase and Robinhood. Those stocks are pumping 25% and 17% respectively today, with Robinhood on pace for its best day in over 2 years. Bitcoin miners are also getting a boost this morning, with Trump having promised on the campaign trail that all future Bitcoin will be mined in the U.S. Marathon, Riot, and Bit Digital are all trading up more than 14% and driving small caps higher as well. Now, in terms of the market outlook, multiple analysts are expecting Bitcoin will hit $100,000 before Trump's inauguration, especially if he delivers on promises like launching a strategic national crypto stockpile with the $15 billion worth of Bitcoin that it already has on its books from asset seizures and Scott Bitcoin, now up 68% year to date after briefly hitting that new all-time high overnight.
So, our bull case scenario is playing out in real time. I want to talk to you about how high Bitcoin could go and how high crypto could generally go in the next year. Of course, the big reason, the big change is that Donald Trump is officially in office and he has some promises to keep. Like, it is very possible we could see a 100K Bitcoin by election day, by inauguration day. 100K Bitcoin by the very beginning of January is very possible. If he can do even half this stuff, that would put Bitcoin and crypto in a really good place. Like, this video is going viral right now as people send this video to their friends and family saying, hey, you might want to buy some Bitcoin.
Hello, Bitcoiners. On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler. I will appoint a new SEC chairman who believes America should build the future, not block the future. Upon taking office, I will immediately appoint a Bitcoin and crypto presidential advisory council. Their task will be to design transparent regulatory guidance for the benefit of the entire industry, and they will get it done in 100 days. As part of our effort to provide regulatory clarity, we will create a framework to enable the safe and responsible expansion of stable coins. I will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA, not driven overseas. I will support the right to self-custody. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. It will be the policy of my administration, United States of America, to keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the U.S. government currently holds or acquires into the future. This will serve in effect as the core of the strategic national Bitcoin stockpile. Today, I repeat my pledge to commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht to a sentence of time served. It's enough. And I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say. It's going to the moon. I want America to be the nation that leads the way, and that's what's going to happen. No, you're going to be very happy with me.
So, how likely is all of this to happen? How likely is it that Donald Trump lives up to his crypto promises? Because promising is one thing, executing is another.
Who knows, maybe we'll pay off our $35 trillion, hand him a little crypto check, right? We'll hand him a little Bitcoin and wipe out our $35 trillion.
But how do you...
But that's what everybody's kind of talking about today and for the next couple weeks. And guess what? Things are looking pretty good, at least according to Anthony Pompliano.
So you think this is the real Donald Trump on Bitcoin that he's been for the last, how long, a year and a half?
I think that he's surrounded by enough people who really understand this. You know, people like Bitcoin Magazine CEO David Bailey, many others who have really spent the time with him. And one of the interesting things is whether he believes in Bitcoin or not is almost a moot point. Is what is he going to do? And if he's going to protect it and not be abrasive, that's a win. But if he also creates the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, I think that'll be a huge tailwind, and it'll kick off this global game theory, right? If the United States starts to lean in and welcome Bitcoin and say, hey, this is an asset that we want on our balance sheet, other countries are going to have to respond. And the interesting thing about Bitcoin is that it's been a bottoms-up adoption story. Individuals adopted it first. Now we see corporations and financial institutions. But the central banks are some of the biggest buyers of gold. Gold is up huge. And so if central banks start to buy Bitcoin and put it in their reserves, that would be a massive tailwind for Bitcoin.
So even short of a sovereign wealth fund or anything like that, Andrew, Becky, we haven't talked about Gary Gensler.
So I'm really looking forward to Donald Trump firing Gary Gensler. And people are already throwing out names, who would be the best person for Donald Trump to replace Gary Gensler with? Like, who could Donald Trump actually get to fill Gary Gensler's spot? Mike Novogratz has some thoughts on CNBC. Listen.
Over the next 1, 2, 3, 6 months, as these new people are put in these positions, I think you're going to see a substantial shift in the energy of this industry.
Mike, to the extent you want to throw out some names, who do you think might be up for this SEC role? I know we've had a lot of names thrown around for the Treasury Secretary role. We just talked to Scott Bessent, and we had John Paulson on the program earlier this week. Those are two names that have been floated for that role. We also have had Jay Clayton and others. Who do you think would be the right person to run the SEC under a second Trump administration?
Listen, Hester Pierce has been there, and they call her crypto mom. And I know she's probably throwing her name in the hat. The chief legal officer at Robinhood has been thrown in. I'm not sure the exact person matters as long as they're very open-minded to this industry. And I think there's just no way Trump's not going to pick someone who, listen, right. He's launched his own coin. And so, his family is engaged, he's engaged. And so I just think it's hard to you got to wake up and slap yourself in the face. We have gone 4 years of a very, very difficult regulatory environment, and that's all about to change.
Right.
So I want to be really clear on this. Things could get pretty wild pretty fast. I'm talking about in terms of price appreciation. $100,000 Bitcoin price by inauguration day, very possible. $200,000 Bitcoin price by next year, very possible. And these are not just my thoughts. These are not just the thoughts from a crypto OG who's been here for years. These are the thoughts of experts who study this data and write reports for big banks and institutions. Bernstein, Fidelity, BlackRock. We share with you what their predictions are all the time, and their predictions are up here. Donald Trump's Bitcoin stockpile will be huge for Bitcoin, but I'm really even more excited about what altcoins are going to do in an administration which likes them. And we're going to release a top altcoin video very soon now that we have this new information about a crypto president being in office. I hope you were able to scoop some Bitcoin up under 70K. I kept telling you last chance. Our audience was for sure well prepared on these dips. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. I'm really looking forward to what the next year brings us. See you tomorrow.
And there they come, the opening pair. One bounce and over the fence. And that's a 6. Shortish delivery. One bounce and over the fence. And that's a 6. A massive one. That one's over the fence for a 6. One bounce and over the fence. Another boundary. And that's a 6. A massive one. Allowed appeal, but turned down by the umpire. And that's a 6. One bounce and over the fence. That's hit in the air and goes over the boundary for a 6. One bounce and over the fence. One bounce and over the fence. And that's a 6.